y'all, I'm Laura Richardson with Relevate. We're Real Estate Elevated, and we're bringing you another episode of I'm Moving to North Carolina, Now What? So today we're going to be talking about you first-time home buyers and the top 7 things you typically forget to do once you've actually purchased your home. So starting at the top, and this one seems like yeah, I should know that, but you'd be surprised at how many people fail to do this. Don't forget to turn on your utilities. So it's really good if you are under contract to go ahead and call all the local power supplies, your gas lines, electricity, any of those good guys. Make sure you line that up before closing. So the seller is required here to actually keep the utilities on through the end of closing day. So the very next day, if you have not turned something on, it's going to get shut off and you will not have access to it. So funny story, when my husband and I actually moved into a house for the first time, we had been in an apartment for years, we did not realize this was the case. This is where adulting hits you where it hurts. And fortunately, the water was still on. Went to go take a nice hot shower. The gas was not turned on. So we ended up having to take cold showers for a couple of days until the gas company could get back out there and restart the whole system. So just make sure you take care of that up front. No cold showers for anyone. Also, a big one is transferring all of your accounts and services that are on either a subscription or a constant rotation, making sure that you're actually updating those in all of your portals. One of the biggest ones that we see people make the mistake on is like Amazon or DoorDash or any of those ones that you use regularly. I cannot tell you the number of times I've actually had folks call me and say that the previous seller's whatever is now sitting on their front porch. One time we actually had a mattress get delivered to my buyer because the sellers forgot to change the shipping address. And that's pretty costly and kind of a pain in the butt to fix should you make that mistake. Another one is making sure those alumni associations or any other places that have a record of where you currently are, make sure they get alerted as well. The third one is your emergency check. So when you first move into a home, take a look around at all of your fire alarms and make sure that you update those batteries. You should be changing those out once a year anyways, but also look at your emergency water shutoff valve. Where is that located? Your fire extinguisher, because these are all things that we don't think we're going to need when we first buy a house, but emergencies do arise out of nowhere and you want to be able to react accordingly. So the next one is updating bank accounts and your driver's license. As much fun as I know all of us think going to the DMV is, a lot of times you can actually update this in the online portal that North Carolina DMV has. You don't actually have to physically go in person, or they even have kiosk stations now that make it super easy to do that. But once you move, make sure passport, driver's license, bank accounts, things where that record really does need to be accurate with your exact location, make sure you go ahead and update those. Your next one is scheduling any home maintenance that you guys have. So the biggest one that I think comes around most regularly is your HVAC system. You probably did an HVAC inspection. He gave you the whole honey-do list on when you move in, you might want to consider these things. And then you want to be on a 6-month rotation from there. We do have 2 big major seasons. Our summer and winter are very polar opposite of each other. Our summer gets super hot. Our winter can get a little chilly. It's definitely not as extreme as up in the Northeast. But when it comes to your HVAC system, you definitely want to make sure that you're checking that furnace and checking that AC, because when those things die and go out or haven't been properly maintained, you will be a sitting duck and it is not pretty. So just make sure you're staying on top of that. Go ahead and pre-schedule. The next one is really for you new construction folks. Make sure that you don't forget your 11-month walkthrough with your builder. So after you close on your home, you actually do an additional inspection about 10 months later and then provide that inspection to your builder, which you will do a walkthrough with them to tell them anything that has started to break down, deteriorate, get damaged, or needs some updating in a short matter of time. So don't forget to put that on your schedule, you new homeowners. And then another one is filing for your warranties. If you are new construction, those warranties have to be done sometimes within the first month of home ownership. So if you don't file for those, which most of them have their own little portal, their registration code, then when something happens to break, if the warranty wasn't filed, even at that 11-month walk, you will not be able to get those things fixed under the builder. You'll have to pay it out of pocket. And then this one again, this is our final one, seems a little obvious, yet folks often forget. Don't forget to update your family that you have moved, unless you don't want them to know your new address. But we've lived in our house for 7 years. We actually still get mail, especially Christmas cards for the family that used to live there. So sorry, Aunt Gertrude, they no longer live there. We need to move on and send that to the forwarded address. Keep in mind when you do address forwarding, the Postmaster General will keep that open for about a year. So whenever you shift from one address to another one, you have a year of forwarding opportunity. So you actually can get mail automatically forwarded to the new address without the new homeowner having to do that on your behalf. But it is important to tell loved ones that you no longer live at that address so they can send it to where you've moved to. If you'd like to follow us for more tips and tricks on here in North Carolina, doing real estate, living life here, and just want to know some things that are really important to have a great contract, I'm Laura Richardson with Relevate. Follow us and we will see you next time.